in terms of self-acceptance, I guess what sort of changes over the years, maybe decades, is wondering about how do I, from wondering about how do I accept Roger, and never really going, beyond that or excluding Roger, but more and more it just seems natural to expand the inquiry into, well, what makes the separate self possible, the experience of the separate self possible, and what is the nature of that which that knows our experience, or is the source of our experience, what Thai would call the ultimate dimension, or nirvana. And so in that sense, we kind of have to go beyond words and beyond our thinking about it and trying to find the answer in our thinking mind. Because I think, like faith, what I've come to see, that faith itself is not a state of mind, but it's a state of being. And so self-acceptance is really the acceptance of our ultimate self, our ultimate dimension, which includes in this the small self, that the idea we have of being a separate being. Although, as Thai says, we're made of everything in the whole universe except for one thing, and that one thing is a separate self. But it includes that idea. It includes all the energy of the ideas we have of being separate, and just open to them and accepting of all of that. But we're learning not to grasp at it and to believe in our ideas of being a separate self. And I still am reminding myself more and more every day, that Buddha's great statement on the morning of his enlightenment, I and all beings together attain the way. And so the more I contemplate that saying, the more I learn to practice that spirit of generosity, the first paramita that Thai talks about. Welcome unconditionally everything, and even welcome the realization of my inability to welcome everything. And that's a big, important, I think, process, because we can offer that feeling of the absence of Buddha, or the absence of God, and the absence of our ability to welcome everything. We can offer that for the welfare of all beings. And Buddha's I and all beings includes those insufficiencies, those weak parts, those weaknesses in us that we need to learn to receive. And we do have those inferiority complexes. I went back to school and studied psychology for years when I was much younger, and realized that, in our culture, it is difficult to have a real full sense of self. In other words, when someone asks you, who are you? The Zen master will say, you are you, but the you he's talking about is a full sense of all experience, of coming close to that Buddha's realization, I and all beings. So instead of just being this separate body-mind with all its desires and fears that we learn and get conditioned to believe in as belonging to us, we can begin to receive that spirit of being alone together as the one. In other words, our true nature is boundless, and the compassion of our true nature is boundless. So I remember going to Thai's retreat back in 2011 with Judith and having a guided meditation with Sister Chan Kong, is the head nun of Thai's Order of Interbeing. And she gave this, guided meditation that we do here too. And she had such a big heart, such a loving presence, a loving awareness of talking about our lungs and our heart and our brain and how they've worked all these years, 24/7, tirelessly supporting us with our breath, the energy of our breath, the energy of life, the ability to talk, the ability to walk, to breathe. And what a gift all that is, a free gift, We didn't ask to be born, but we were given these free gifts. And the depth of being able to appreciate that, those wonderful gifts goes such a long way, because the ideas we have of ourselves as this little small being are part of that. I mean, that's what makes Roger and Judith and Norma and Daniel and Timothy and Adrian and Bob and Norma, whoever I didn't mention. That's what makes all of us possible, And so to open more and more deeply into the depth of that generosity that we were gifted, the ability to be alive. It's a heart opening and a depth of recognition of our shared being that really is the deepest form of self-acceptance. The joy of our aliveness of being what we want and wanting what we are, receiving and giving away our joy, giving away our sense of being a separate self at the same time, and receiving the offerings of that great compassion. All our body and our mind are really expressions of the great compassion that's being offered us. And, lately I've been listening, I think I sent out a meditation from a Buddhist nun, a Tibetan nun, on a Christian mystic from the 1600s, Brother Lawrence. And he talks about the practice of the presence of God, or we could say the practice of the presence of the ultimate dimension, or of nirvana, or of enlightenment, I guess. But it's the same spirit. And he was saying, I carry on this constant, continuous conversation with God all the time. And he really, there's no difference between his business, his working, and his prayer. It's the same energy, and he is just devoted to that. And he talks about how, he says, I can't understand how religious people can feel satisfied without the presence of God. So, again, it's a state of being, that faith, that self-acceptance is a state of being he's talking about, of being, he talks of it as being in the presence of God, but you can tell by the spirit of how it's presented that what he means is that he doesn't just mean being in the Spirit of God, but actually being the Spirit of God, being one with the Spirit of God. That our energy is actually made out of the energy, the love that created, the material universe, the so-called material universe. So he says, how happy we could be if we could find the treasures that are promised in the Gospels. And he says, For myself, I retire with God into the depths of the center of my soul. And when I'm there, I fear nothing. And if we could find that treasure, that promise of the treasure in the Gospels, all else would be as nothing. So we can ask to just be opened more and more deeply into this heart of being, I guess. Heart of being, the heart of our aliveness, the heart of our realization of the oneness of being, and offer all our energy to the spirit of liberation for the welfare of all beings. It means loving and welcoming our clinging, self-clinging, which is our resistance to this ever-present flow of experience that's always changing. But every time we remember, every time we come back, there's a little less resistance there. And it becomes a little clearer, that the great transforming power, the great absorption power, when Ty talked about the clear side of the water and the muddy water, he also used the analogy of how when you have a fishbowl, you've heard me say this before, and you dump muddy water in the fishbowl, the whole fishbowl gets muddy. But when we look deeply and realize the expansive, vast nature of our real being, it's like the ocean. And when you dump a bunch of mud in the ocean, it just dissipates. And that's the power of the absorbing and the dissolving of our fears and our suffering. So, I think I've talked enough. Yeah, let's have discussion. Thanks.
Thank you, Roger. Thank you so much. I've been reading a story of St. Francis of Assisi by Kazantzakis, the famous Greek writer. And also reading The Shack, which some people may have read. They're both Christian. And it's interesting because I find myself drawing the parallels constantly, like you do. Only for me, I don't use the word God, I use the word consciousness, which seems to work for me because it's difficult for me to personify higher power. So, but the word consciousness is definitely our teaching that we all are in that conscious soup. We all belong to it, the river of us, the river of everything that exists.
Yeah.
So awesome when you just give it a little bit of thought or give it a little room in your heart. It's just such an awesome thing that we are connected the way we are, lovingly, tenderly, innocently. I feel so happy when I think about it.
Yeah. Well, and because God is kind of is a mysterious term, and we also have been brought up with it as something way far away and outside and mysterious and kind of unknowable.
Yes.
Whereas consciousness is firsthand, is self-evident. That's what we are. What is it that's aware of our experience? Well, awareness is aware of our experience.
Awareness, yes.
Yeah.
So my daughter is still struggling. I don't know if I talked about it, but she's bipolar. I'm sure I said something last time. And right now she's struggling with an episode of depression that's serious. And it's difficult for her to leave the house at all. And she's reading Thich Nhat Hanh. She reads the Bible. And she's also reading Ty's. I don't know which book it is right now, but it doesn't really matter, does it?
No.
Matter because he somehow is able to put all the teachings in one book. Any of the hundreds of books that are attributed to him, you know. So, yeah, that's what I'm. That's what's on my mind, and will tend to worry me. It tends to worry me because I know that so many people who have bipolar are commit suicide. 1 out of every 5.
Mm-hmm.
And well, you've experienced that, Roger.
Yeah,
So,
2 of my siblings. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, I mean, tell me where do you think they are now?
Well, there's no place else to be but here and now.
Ah. So,
But
do you believe that all time is happening all at once?
it's impossible to fully believe it, but it just seems like it's always now. You
It
know,
makes
that's
sense, doesn't it?
in our actual experience. It's always now.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, how can it be other than now?
There is no other now, and now isn't like coming from the past and moving into the future. It's just ideas of things happening, you know, that create a past and future. But nobody's ever been in the past or in the future. The ideas of past and future are always a present now experience, and so now is just ever present.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And people who have near-death experiences and talk with different people who have come to guide them, that's their conclusion too.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they die and they become Buddhist. I don't know what happens.
Yeah. More and more.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm.
Anybody else? Look at those beautiful faces. I think Bob may still be with us, but he decided to stay where he was.
Yeah, he's here.
I'm back.
He's
Hi, Bob.
back.
I thought wasn't even the dimmer switch. It just went off.
Oh.
It did?
Yeah.
You lost it? Oh, I'm
No.
sorry.
Well, I'm okay.
We have all our technical difficulties, don't we? Norma, do you have anything to say?
Not at this time.
Well, most of our big talkers aren't here tonight, but
It doesn't have to be constant.
there's always me and Judith, though. I guess.
Yeah, we're good at it, aren't we, Roger?
I don't know about good, but we certainly are. Well, we certainly have a large volume of words to.
We do. We're schmoozers.
Yeah.
That's what I call a schmoozer.
Yeah.
My father was a schmoozer. He could tell a story.
Yeah.
He had to have a couple beers first, but then he could tell us.
Yeah, I really love to listen to stories. It's fun. Yeah.
You too.
I was wondering where Lee was tonight too. Speaking of someone who's very verbal and communicates a great deal, I'm always happy to hear what he shared. But I don't see him. Is he away?
He's working tonight.
He has his job keeps him late sometimes.
Oh, that's what it does. Okay.
Yeah.
So he can't always make it. But we're always happy when he can because he has a good knowledge of the practice and always
I've got
contributes.
a question that's more like, can you snap your fingers in the now? Can you snap your fingers in now? Like, It's a question.
Um,
But
well,
it always happens.
it always happens. Yeah.
And was that glass now or this now?
It's over.
Exactly. Yeah.
But the actual now of each snap of the fingers is the same now, because now doesn't really move, you know?
Right, and the past and the future are with us
Yeah.
in the present moment.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
The past and the future are always with us in the present moment, always.
Yes.
The future hasn't even taken place yet. How would we know that present with us?
That's a good thought. That's a
Well,
good
the
question.
now of the past and future are always now, because it's always, there is nothing else except now. But
Wow.
you can't really think about now. We can't get our mind around it because it doesn't have any boundaries. Just like here doesn't have any boundaries. You know, like space has no boundaries. So being here, the here of boundless consciousness or awareness doesn't share the limits of any particular place. You know, in other words, we're not here. Doesn't come in. Doesn't have any dimensions. Just
Well,
like space.
and time.
Yeah.
Those are our invention, aren't they? Space and time.
Yeah. There's one guy who talks about it in terms of how time is what infinite consciousness looks like from the perspective of thought, from the perspective of things happening. That's what infinite consciousness looks like, and space is what infinite consciousness looks like from the perspective of perception. Right? So.
But it has to be an illumined perception, I would think.
Yeah, illumined if we realize that the light of here and now is always shining.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's such a comforting
Is that
thought. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
is that to say that everything is illuminated?
Yes, we are light. We are made of light. We are.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is made of light.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember with a friend of mine, we went to these caves, not about 50 miles from where I live, and these were some caves where that were discovered in the Civil War, and some of the soldiers went in there, and we walked through these caves, and there was one place where the lady who was leading the tour said that this here, and I don't know how they measured it, but it's the absolute least amount of light, the absolute most darkness you could ever experience. And it was kind of an interesting experience being there because it was so dark, but I still felt you could really feel the aliveness of the darkness, and the aliveness is light, even though there was no visible form at all.
Right.
There was just this alive, vibrant, shining. You know, it wasn't shining with colors or shining with anything you could see visually except dark, but it was totally alive. It was really amazing experience.
Life prevails.
Right. And even in the deepest depression, the light of being is there, you know?
Yeah, and I think my daughter feels that too. I think that she, in the deepest heart of her, she knows that.
Yeah, yeah.
But she still suffers.
Yeah.
Well, what's her first name? So I can just send Laura. So I can just send loving energy.
Thank you.
No, really.
She needs all the loving energy she can
Yeah.
get.
I'm sorry to hear that. But she's well enough to know that she needs to stay home. In other words, she's not going out and jeopardizing the situation.
No,
Stay
she's
home.
not. They just changed her medication. She had a meeting with a psychiatrist. and they're fussing with her medication, which could be very helpful.
Yes. I hope that's very helpful.
Mhm.
Yeah, and can you stay with your head raised slightly higher so that your chin is still, yeah, right.
There we go.
Your neck
I
and
don't
your
know
chin.
what
you
to
know.
do. If we can make this chair higher. I'm sitting on 2 pillows.
Oh, really? But, and you can't lower the camera, okay.
Screen? No, I can't make it lower.
Okay.
I've tried that.
I see everybody else's full face, neck
I know,
and shoulders and whatnot.
I apologize. Here, how's this? Good?
What?
This.
Yes,
that's
way
good.
better.
Yes.
Way better, thank you.
I snapped my finger. Let me check the time now. Oh, we have 5 minutes. I wish you guys could just stop talking so much. Let's have a little silence here. No, I'm joking.
I went spelunking years ago in a cave, spelunking, and our guide said we were in absolute darkness. We had shut off our miners' helmets and all that stuff. He said, you think you can still see your hand, but you can't.
Mm-mm.
But you think you can. But but you can. Is it that you just think you can, or is it still really there? Like in with the thought of light. I mean, you see, it's still there in the darkness, and you can see it. But she says that's all in your mind. Is it, or is it real?
Good question.
Yeah.
I mean, if we're all light and you see something that's not there, but it's there, if that makes any sense.
I went on a tour of a cave once on my way to New York, and at a certain point, the tour guide said, if you have claustrophobia in any form, you may want to turn back. And I did. I could not stay down there in the darkness. It just wasn't working.
Lightmonger, aren't you? Such a lightmonger. You're all about light.
Yeah.
But I guess I need my eyes.
Yeah.
I had an acupuncture treatment today that was so awesome that I'm just feeling like, just quiet. It's a very beautiful feeling, actually.
Yep. The Eastern doctors of acupuncture, somehow they've accessed different realms, different fields of energy that Western medicine hasn't discovered.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty amazing.
Yeah. Another pillow, Judith?
Yes.
Another pillow. Here we go.
There you go.
Getting up there. There you go.
That looks was wonderful. I mean, really wonderful.
Yeah, now I can really see you.
And my hair isn't done, so.
Your hair looks beautiful. You know what? And I was thinking how nice your hair looked when I first signed on.
Wow,
So,
thank you.
I was thinking that. And here you're saying it's not.
I was thinking of how good you look.
Oh, please.
Yeah, seriously. Seriously.
Absolutely, that's true.
That is. Timothy, the greatest beard on the planet, Timothy, is yours. And I've never seen one before that's better than that. That is amazing how you've grown that.
This beard, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And look at Daniel has a beard and Roger has a beard, but no one's in the category of you. Look at that size of that. Amazing.
Yeah.
Knows no peer.
It's like Rutherford Hayes' beard, you know.
Rutherford Hayes?
He was one of those presidents in the 1870s or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, we're out of time, folks. So
You're so knowledgeable, Roger.
Uh,
All right.
Judith, I was thinking the same thing when we got on, and how lovely your hair looks.
I just won't do anything to it. I'll leave it alone.
There you go.
Okay. Well, it's been lovely. Thank you all so much for being here.
Thank
can't
you.
imagine how much it means.
Yeah, Norman, it looks like you're our only hope for a bell, because if you notice, we have rediscovered the echoless valley here. So
Right.
it's because
So no
of,
bells.
but Judith, it's Judith's computer, and we can't have the echoless without and the bell at the same time. So you're the only bell we've got, except,
okay.
except for
Well,
Timothy's cowbell. So,
I'm happy to ring it.
All right.
No
You
problem.
are a Southern belle, aren't you?
Yeah.
From North Carolina.
I don't know about that, but
Ready to share the bell, Norma?
may the merit of this practice benefit all beings and bring peace.
Okay, have a great week, everyone.
Love you.
Love you.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye all.
Bye.
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 Bye-bye.
All right. Done again, done again, done again, done again, done again, done again. We're done again, Bodhi. Oh, we did it, we did it. All we've got is repetition, and repetition will be easy. Yes, easy, easy, easy. Hi, baby. How's the baby doing? He's a baby guy. He's just a baby guy. What is this? Oh, this is what they did with your... Yeah, they did do a little thing on you, didn't they? I didn't even notice that, but they had to do a thing on you. Had to take you in. You're a good boy, Bodhi. Okay, let's go. Let's get out of here.